Welcome to the January 2019 Star Wars News Roundup, where we cover all the movie, TV, canon, and gaming news of the past month. We don't have any movie news to report this time around, unfortunately, thanks JJ, so let's get right into television. Earlier this week, Jon Favreau shared another picture from the set of The Mandalorian, this time of a familiar-looking droid. It's probably just an R5 unit, or maybe it's R5-D4 from A New Hope. He did survive the events of the film according to the book from a certain point of view, so maybe he's still out there somewhere. On January 18th, Variety editor Todd Spangler noted that Disney will be demoing Disney Plus for its investors on April 11th, which happens to be the first day of Star Wars Celebration. I think most people already thought it was likely we'd see a trailer or something for the show, but this feels like extra confirmation. In Cassian Andor news, production on the second Star Wars series for Disney Plus is set to begin this October, likely for release in 2020. And finally for Disney Plus, Bob Iger has stated that Lucasfilm is currently not developing any Star Wars film content exclusively for the platform. He wants Star Wars movies to continue premiering on the big screen. We had a lot of announcements in book and comic news this month. The previously announced book Alphabet Squadron has now been confirmed as a trilogy, which is great. I miss having series of books like we had all the time in Legends. There will also be a tie-in comic series called TIE Fighter. We got our first look at stories from the upcoming Age of Rebellion comics, including characters like Princess Leia, Grand Moff Tarkin, Han Solo, Boba Fett, Lando Calrissian, Jabba the Hutt, Luke Skywalker, and Darth Vader, but who cares about all those nobodies when the special issue will feature Biggs and Porkins? StarWars.com also announced 6 new book and comic tie-ins with Galaxy's Edge. Black Spire by Delilah Dawson is the novel, probably about the author's character Vi Marati from Phasma. A Crash of Fate by Zoraida Cordova will be about all new characters on Batuu. Star Wars Myths and Fables will be a collection of tall tales written by George Mann, 2 of which will involve Batuu. A comic miniseries will begin in April by Ethan Sachs, and a kids comic series will also be released alongside a cookbook. Speaking of Galaxy's Edge, some information about the Rise of the Resistance ride has been revealed. It's said to be a 28-minute experience, which is insane. I won't spoil any of the rumored details of the ride itself, but it's out there if you want to look it up, and it sounds pretty awesome. That's it for movie, TV, and canon news, so now I'm going to throw things over to Elliot from Battlefront Updates for gaming news.
Thank you, Alex. There hasn't been too much gaming news in January, but starting off in Battlefront 2, Count Dooku released this month, together with his Dark Ritual skin from the Lost Missions of the Clone Wars, and is now available in the game for 35,000 credits, and his skin for 40,000 credits or 1,000 crystals. They also added more game modes to Geonosis, including Arcade, Blast, and Heroes vs. Villains. Next month is the biggest update yet to Battlefront 2 with Anakin, the 501st, the Coruscant Guard, as well as a new large-scale game mode with command posts and capital ships. As for Galaxy of Heroes, they added Han's Millennium Falcon as a playable character among all the other events of the month. In Star Wars The Old Republic, game update 5.10.1 is now available on public test servers where you can face off against the mutated Geonosian Queen as either 8 or 16 player teams. And lastly, in some sadder news, Jason Schreier from Kotaku, who has previously broken a lot of Star Wars gaming news, was told by multiple inside sources that the large-scale / open world game made by EA Vancouver that was kind of a continuation of Visceral's cancelled game, or at least using some of those assets, has now been cancelled. The project name was Orca, and you were supposed to play as a scoundrel or bounty hunter working with different factions around the Star Wars universe. And it was apparently cancelled in favor for another smaller scale Star Wars project aimed to be out a bit earlier. 2020 seems to be the goal, possibly around the release of next-gen consoles. So it seems like no one has been laid off, but they simply moved them from this Star Wars project to another one to make sure that they can get one project out earlier. And what they mean with a smaller scale Star Wars project is hard to say, but we don't really have any official details on any Star Wars games outside of Battlefront 2 or Fallen Order. But now, back to Alex.
Thanks, Elliot. If you want to keep more up to date with Star Wars gaming news every day, subscribe to Battlefront Updates, who provides daily videos about all Star Wars games, not just Battlefront. But that's it for January. The Star Wars News Roundup will return March 1st to cover everything that goes on in the month of February. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to our channels, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.